Hello guys, welcome back to the Brutal Investor channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. In this episode, I want to cover a project that is currently offering a very high passive income for its token, and it's a platform that I've been using for a while and I'm really happy with it. And this project is called DeFi chain or the DFI token, right? Again, as always guys, I highly recommend you guys to do your own research on any of the projects that we cover in our channel. And for this project, I recommend you guys to go to the website defichain.com in order to learn more about this project, right? So right off the bat, if you see, DeFi chain is basically a decentralized finance that's enabled on Bitcoin, right? That's basically one of their main value proposition. And you can also see that they have a liquidity mining program that offers more than 100% APR, and their current decentralized exchange or DEX is now live, and you can access more about that information on the learn more button here, right? So if you see, you are able to earn 100% or even more than 100% APR on some of the tokens. And if you see, APR is basically any returns that any yield that you earn without compounding your your gains, right? So APR basically is something that you earn without compounding, and if your APR is above 100%, then your APY would probably be about 200 to 300% easily, right? And that's some really insane returns for a project. Again, this project is not really that popular despite its extremely high yields, which is something that may appear suspicious to you guys, but I assure you that this is a project that I have used and I haven't really faced any issues yet, and it's a project that I have seen several other popular people use as well, right? Again, just to be clear, I wasn't sponsored by this group, nor do I have a significant amount invested in this project. I'm only talking about this, and if you guys want to buy this token, you would obviously have to do your own research, and you shouldn't really invest anything on this token that you can't afford to lose, right? So moving on, if you see, a blockchain dedicated to fast, intelligent and transparent financial services accessible by everyone. So again, if you see, they are basically offering a unique blockchain that they are claiming is fast, intelligent and transparent for all financial services that you can want to access, and it's also accessible by everyone. Basically, every kind of blockchain that exists with a fast, scalable and transparent kind of like use case, this blockchain also offers the same, right? So you can also go to the downloads in order to see some of their documents that you can also access some of their files to download in order to access this program, or you can also buy their token, DFI token, which is what we're covering today, right? The post fintech revolution, from trust-based to trustless, decentralized finance overcomes what fintech could not solve in traditional finance. So again, this is a pretty standard statement here, and if you see, they have provided information about traditional finance, fintech and DeFi, right? So you basically have a lot of advantage when it comes to DeFi, which everyone is probably clear right now that DeFi offers much more when it comes to user focused, high yield and security, rather than any form of traditional finance or fintech based centralized solutions, right? So this is basically like a very simplified kind of like bar chart that shows that DeFi has some of the highest trust minimized software that is also one of the kind of core products of this project, and with very little bureaucracy, right? Benefits of DeFi chain. So when it comes to DeFi chain, what are the main benefits for using this chain? Variety, wide range of crypto economic financial operations. So again, DeFi chain is offering a wide variety of crypto based financial services and operations which people can take advantage of, right? and throughput, unparalleled high transaction throughput for all transactions. Again, as they claim to be a fast blockchain, it is important for them to have high throughput in order to make sure that they are able to scale and process multiple transactions in various different volumes, right? So security, Turing incomplete for reduced attack vectors. So again, they are using some of the high cutting edge security features on their blockchain. Development, rapidly create a variety of DeFi apps on one chain. So again, they're able to offer some of the most rapid variety of DeFi apps on one chain, one single chain, right? So that's pretty cool. Governance, reliable decentralized governance on and off chain. So again, you are basically able to use the DeFi token or DFI token in order to participate in governance both on and off the chain. Immutability, immutable by anchoring to the Bitcoin blockchain. So again, you are able to use the immutability of Bitcoin blockchain in order to make this project immutable as well, right? So that's a very interesting feature. Designed and engineered for decentralized finance dApps. So again, they are basically claiming that their DeFi chain project is built specifically for decentralized dApps or decentralized applications. Lending, borrow and lend through collateralized systems. Again, just like many other lending platforms, you have a collateralized lending feature on DeFi chain, which you can take advantage of by depositing your crypto and taking a loan in another crypto for a particular collateral ratio, right? Or you can even make sure that you lend and earn interest on your tokens. Wrapping of tokens, work with a variety of crypto assets directly on chains. Again, you can basically wrap tokens, different tokens, such as Bitcoin as wrapped Bitcoin, ETH as wrapped ETH, and so on and so forth, for a variety of crypto assets on chain itself, right? So that's another cool feature. Pricing oracles, collect data from other chains and non-crypto markets. Again, it is possible to collect different real-life data from many other chains and non-crypto markets as well within DeFi chain. Exchanges, direct peer-to-peer trading between cryptocurrencies. So you can basically use their new DEX or decentralized exchange in order to trade between cryptocurrencies in a peer-to-peer decentralized manner. Transferable debts and receivables. So again, this is another interesting feature. Work with transparency not possible with institutions. Again, currently you are using a financial system that's based on centralized models, which is not necessarily transparent, right? But on DeFi chain, you can basically transfer debts and receivables in a fully transparent manner. Non-collateralized debt, loans based on reputation and verifiable credentials. Again, these are some of the projects that DeFi chain is going to integrate with in the future. Currently, they are only offering collateralized lending, but not non-collateralized debt, which is something that will be available in the future. Asset tokenization, tokenize equity, real estate, and other holdings. Again, if you want to sell your house in a tokenized version, you can do that. You can basically tokenize any form of equity you want on DeFi chain, and it's going to be possible, right? Distribution of dividends, automatic investment payouts with smart contracts. Again, if you hold a particular equity that pays you dividend, let's say for example you hold a stock of Apple or Amazon or whatever. Again, I know these stocks may not necessarily offer dividends, but I'm just using this as an example, right? So if you hold let's say Apple stocks via DeFi chain in a tokenized manner, you are still eligible to receive dividends, which you can receive via smart contracts automatically without any form of hassle, right? So that's something that we'll be able to see in the future with several projects. Again, these are some of the variety of use cases that you can kind of use DeFi chain for, and it's quite interesting, right? Built on Bitcoin. So DeFi chain marries the best of proof of stake with the security and immutability of Bitcoin. So again, when you take Bitcoin blockchain, it's one of the most earliest and in fact one of the legacy blockchains that literally led to the creation of the cryptocurrency space that we know and love currently. It also led to several different innovations in the field of crypto, finance, NFTs, and so on and so forth, right? But the problem with Bitcoin is you can't really do anything with Bitcoin itself, because Bitcoin is basically just a store of value. You can earn Bitcoin by mining, or you can basically transfer it to another person directly without any centralized authority or permission, all right? But the problem is it would be interesting to include Bitcoin in decentralized finance. Projects like Ethereum kind of try to do that by wrapping Bitcoin and making it wrapped Bitcoin, so that you can use a tokenized version of Bitcoin on DeFi projects on Ethereum, right? Similarly, Binance Smart Chain is aiming to do that, and I believe several other blockchains such as Polkadot, Kusama, Cardano will also have their own versions of wrapped Bitcoin. But DeFi chain is trying to do something which is quite different. They're basically trying to use the best of proof of stake on Bitcoin as a side chain or second layer solution, but not compromising the security, because they're basically using Bitcoin security and immutability for their own DeFi projects, right? So that's basically something that we'll see from several different projects in the future. So again, basically I've represented the idea that they're trying to use through a pictorial way, where Bitcoin acts as the first layer and DeFi chain's native token, which looks like this. It kind of acts as a mask on top of Bitcoin, just like it's kind of creating this second layer kind of solution where DeFi could be possible on top of Bitcoin, but whereas by similarly leveraging its security and immutability, right? So it's a very nice representation. Decentralized and distributed. DeFi chain nodes are distributed globally across data centers in the US, Canada, Europe, India, Singapore, and Australia. So again, you can clearly see some of the different nodes that for DeFi chains that is basically available all across the world. So it is fairly decentralized, and obviously talking about their roadmap, which is something that you guys definitely need to look into if you are seriously considering investing a decent bag of money in this token. So within the next 3, 5, and 10 years, they have some really long-term vision of their project, right? So in the next 3 years, they're basically aiming to decentralized leverage trading, or 10x or 50x leverage of collateral. So again, that's something that they're going to have in 3 years' time. Again, in 3 years' time, they'll also have decentralized options, secondary markets, as well as financial derivatives implemented on native on-chain transactions, the de facto blockchain for peer-to-peer financial transactions. So these are some of the ideas and long-term goals that they have for the 3-year plan. But when it comes to the 5-year plan, they want to have on-chain automated clearinghouse, or ACH, and real-time gross settlement, or RTGS. They're also planning to have the de facto blockchain. They're planning to be the de facto blockchain for transactions across financial institutions. Again, that's something that's going to be big. So for 5 years' time, this is basically what they're planning to achieve. And within the next 10 years, they're planning to be the de facto blockchain for transactions between countries and sovereign states. Again, it's a very, a strong goal and vision that they have for their project in 10 years' time, which is also a reasonable time frame, because although crypto and DeFi are still relatively early in their beginning stages, right? Currently, I believe that within the next 5 to 10 years, there will be a lot more changes where decentralized finance will disrupt centralized finance and will become the de facto financial ecosystem of the world. And players like DeFi chain aim to not only stay relevant but also be used widely, by countries and institutions and every kind of financial infrastructure, to be built on top of DeFi chain, right? Although it's a very ambitious goal with some severe competition with obviously Ethereum, Polkadot, Cardano, and so many other massive behemoths in the crypto space, it is still a goal that we can obviously be a part of, and kind of hold a small stake in this token just to see what can happen. Right? Again, crypto space is very volatile and things can change within fractions of seconds. So I believe that it wouldn't really be surprising to see DeFi chain's native token DFI cross the top 50 and even be in the top 25, right, in the future. So that's something that's definitely possible. So 2021 on track. So they're offering much clearer roadmap for 2021. Again, if you see, they had a lot of interesting updates for Jan of this year. DOGE-DFI pool pair added to DEX. Again, that's something that's quite interesting for people who like Dogecoin. In February, they had further decentralization via Dakota updates. Again, they had a recent update on February, and also on February as well, they had collateral required to start a masternode lower to 20k DFI. So again, you have to have a small amount of DFI tokens or decent amount of DFI tokens in order to start a masternode. So they basically lowered the amount of DFI tokens needed from whatever amount that they had before to 20k DFI tokens in order to start your own masternode, which will still be expensive for a lot of people. But if you are looking to hodl this token for long term, or if you definitely believe in this project and you want to start a masternode, then 20k DFI tokens is the lowest, right, that you would need. For March, again, they had Bcash DFI pools added to the DEX. Again, as you can see, they have a lot of cross-chain tokens available, so which is quite exciting. And again, on March, they have Bitcoin anchoring implemented, which is another interesting implementation that you can read about. In Q2, they are planning to have pink paper on stocks trading, loan and decentralized BTC. Again, on Q2 as well, Ledger hardware wallet integrations. Again, that's going to be really exciting. Q2 again, decentralized cross-chain asset bridge via atomic swap, which is going to be really huge and groundbreaking for the entire crypto space if they could have atomic swaps for not only this token but also for several projects including Bitcoin and Monero, which will be like the pinnacle of the next level of crypto advancement, right, by having cross-chain atomic swaps with no centralized authority or in a fully decentralized manner. That will be the next big thing, right, which is coming soon for the crypto space very soon, and DeFi chain wants to be a part of it as well, right? So again, lots of updates on Q2. They are also having a mobile app planned for Q3, and that's pretty much it. Again, they're basically trying to have a lot of interesting updates, so you guys can follow it on their website. You can also see what they achieved in 2020 to see if they're on track. Again, very important, they have their information updated all the way from 2019, which is very good. So if you want to be a part of their newsletter, you can kind of like sign up on this page here. So again, they promise that they won't be spamming your emails, so you can obviously feel free to give your name and email address in order to get newsletters from them. You can also see their native token. They're talking about the native token. You can basically find out how you can acquire the native token by clicking on this link here. You can also access their DEX, which we'll look into very shortly. Developers, if you want to build on top of DeFi chain, you can do that as well. If you want to partner with the DeFi chain ecosystem, this is the link here. You can learn more about DeFi chain and how-to guides using this link here. And that's pretty much it, right? So again, lots of information for a blockchain that is not really well spoken about. It is probably something that will gain traction in the next few months to like a few years, but as of the time of making this video, this project is still relatively early, right? Decentralized finance enabled on Bitcoin, that's basically their main vision statement, right? Again, you can access all of their white paper, bug bounty and social social sites here. You can also see their price points and market cap and the volume, right? Again, a pretty interesting project, pretty interesting blockchain. Again, it's nice to see several blockchains with much better technology and advantage that aim to leverage the security of Bitcoin in order to bring the DeFi platform to Bitcoin itself, right? So let's kind of access their DEX and see how their DEX is going to be. So again, if you click on the learn more button on the top, you can clearly see that swap and arbitrage on the DEX, mine liquidity for up to 100x high yields and more with the DeFi chain wallet app available for Windows, Mac OS and Linux. So again, you can download their wallet app where you can do all the decentralized exchange trading or DEX trading. You can trade between DFI, Bitcoin, and also several other tokens as well, right? You have the information on the left, which I don't think you guys can see it, but once you go to the website, you can clearly see it, right? You can get some really good information about what would be the price point, what's the slippage, and so on and so forth, right? So when you provide liquidity to BTC DFI, you can earn APR of 85.73%. ETH DFI, you can earn 85.11% APR, and you can also provide liquidity to these other pools and earn some really high APRs, right? And you can basically see some of the information on how to provide liquidity. It's similar to Uniswap. There's no real issues with that. You can earn some really high APRs. Again, not all of these APRs are relevant because many of them change and it's not always like above 100% all the time, right? Liquidity mining is also available to earn their own native token. You can read their guides, you can read all the other information as well as provided on this site, right? Again, pretty interesting information. You can download their wallet and be a part of their own decentralized exchange and see if you are getting better prices, right? So that's something that you can do as well. So let's go to the CoinGecko page for DeFi chain. This token again is currently unranked on CoinGecko and its market cap information is not available. In order to find out that, let's go to their actual website and find out what's their actual market cap, which is at the bottom. It's currently, the market cap information is provided by CoinMarketCap. So what we'll do is we'll basically go to CoinMarketCap instead of CoinGecko for this one. Again, it's sometimes better to use CoinMarketCap instead of CoinGecko because CoinGecko may not necessarily have updated information, right, for some tokens. So if you choose DeFi chain, you can go to CoinMarketCap and see some important stats available. So this token is currently ranked 213th by market cap on CoinMarketCap, and it's trading at $3.12 at the time I'm making this video, with a 5.09% increase in the past 24 hours. Its market cap is $938 million in market cap. Again, it may seem high, but if you compare what it can do when it comes to all the benefits that this blockchain has to offer, along with the fact that it's basically relying on Bitcoin security and the success of Bitcoin in order for it to leverage its smart contract platform, and it's basically a blockchain that exists on top of another blockchain. So in this case, the blockchain that it's existing on top of is basically Bitcoin, and it's a parallel blockchain that uses Bitcoin security. It's basically like Polygon, the way how Polygon acts as a side chain for Ethereum and leverages Ethereum security. DeFi chain is basically equivalent to Polygon, right? So I would say probably it's better to compare the market cap of DFI token or DeFi chain with Polygon, because basically DeFi chain is aiming to be the Polygon of the Bitcoin blockchain, right? And if you take Polygon's market cap, it's basically going to be in the several billions. I believe it's going to be again $9.1 billion in market cap. So if Polygon can basically be $9.1 billion in market cap, I can probably say that DeFi chain also has a high potential to grow, especially considering the fact that it is a blockchain project that doesn't really have a lot of traction at the moment. I think this project can definitely grow exponentially in the future, as long as it continues to meet its roadmap deadlines, as well as try to be very innovative, right? As long as it can try to attract people to use its project and dApps and all that, it will continue to be relevant. And based on what I'm seeing so far, I think the market cap is still relatively low and it has a high potential to grow, right? I can see this token or this project being at least $5 to $10 billion in market cap in the next few years, right? So if you take the market cap to TVL locked, total value locked ratio, it's 3.16%. Obviously, the numbers kind of read as though this token is kind of overvalued, but again, since it's in the token price is in the green right now, I would recommend people holding off on buying this token, and we'll discuss that when we discuss about the charts, right? But for now, based on at least the numbers and on theory, it seems like at the time of making this video, this token is slightly overvalued, right? Which is something that you guys need to bear in mind. So one of the things that we need to look into is the max supply. So again, as a blockchain project, this project is going to have its own supply, and the supply may not necessarily be favorable. Let's say, for example, in my case, I would probably not buy a token that easily if the token has a max supply of 100 million tokens or more, right? The reason is, I believe if a token has extremely high max supply, that can be one of the main factors by which the token can slump in price, at least during the short term, right? I would also look at tokens that have a lower circulation supply in proportion to their max supply, which is going to be an indication that if all factors set aside, you can expect to see a token with low circulating supply having severe price slumping, at least in the short term, due to its low circulating supply in proportion to its max supply, right? But again, there are certain exceptions to projects, because if you take a project like DeFi chain, this project has 1.2 billion tokens as a max supply. Again, obviously the token supply is extremely high and it's not going to be something that I would immediately favor at first. But if you take this project, it's a blockchain project, right? And one of the most successful blockchain projects when it comes to smart contract and DeFi is Ethereum. And Ethereum is the DeFi king, undoubtedly, by a long shot, right? But if you take Ethereum's tokenomics, it has no max supply. It is, at the time of making this video, inflationary. There is no burning mechanism, again, obviously at the time of making this video, and it's still continuing to outperform several projects, and it's on course to outperform Bitcoin itself, right? But obviously there is EIP 1559 coming pretty soon, Ethereum 2.0 coming pretty soon, and so many DeFi projects lock Ethereum, that's kind of taking Ethereum out of the supply, right? So I don't think that the supply is something, the token supply or max supply of a token is not the only factor that should determine whether you want to buy this token or not, right? So if you take DeFi chain, for example, although the max supply is 1.2 billion tokens, this token can definitely perform well in the future, again, as long as it continues to meet its expectations and try to innovate in the crypto space, right? So with that in mind, I would say that this token has somewhat of a decent max supply, especially considering several blockchain projects which have several billion tokens as max supply, but DeFi chain only has 1.2 billion tokens in max supply, right? And if you see, DeFi chain token is going to be used for several DeFi interactions within the blockchain itself, and there will be projects that will make you lock DFI tokens in return for yield, and that will take DFI tokens out of the circulating supply, right? So that's something that you guys need to consider. But if you see the circulating supply, there's 0.5 million tokens in circulation, and the total supply as of the time of making this video is 500 million tokens, right? 588 million tokens to be specific. So the circulating supply is only 25% of the max supply. Again, somewhat of a decent circulating supply ratio. There are projects that have less than 10% of the tokens in circulation. So compared to those projects, this project is way better, right? So let's move on to the charts. So if you take the charts, you can clearly see that for an all-time, if you mark the token as an all-time price point, if you can clearly see that the token price point is available, just a second, yeah, the token price is available since July 3rd of 2020, when the token price was worth 16 cents. It was pretty much not doing a lot for quite some time until December 2020, when this token price went from being 43 cents all the way to an all-time highs or its initial all-time highs of about $3.94 before going back down, and it had it had been going up and down at the $3.50 range before making its absolute all-time highs of about $4.76 before coming back down, and now it's kind of like stabilizing, right? The token price is still at a relatively high point. I would probably suggest, if you guys want to buy this token, maybe wait a bit. I do think that this token can cool down and maybe be at a $2.50 range, which is a good possibility for this token. But you can clearly see that after almost 6 months of no activity, the token has suddenly pumped. It seems to be like this token is getting slow and steady traction, and the volatility of the token is not as bad as compared to several other projects, right? And you can clearly see that it's kind of holding off very nicely above the $2.50 range, and I think this will continue to bounce up and down around the $2.50 range price point, and maybe even make a new all-time highs of about $5, crossing $5, right? But if you want to buy this token, I'll probably wait and make sure that it goes at least below $3 per token, right? If you look at the Bitcoin comparative, on the other hand, again, CoinMarketCap doesn't provide either comparative, so we'll go with the Bitcoin comparative for now. The token was worth less than 1 Satoshi mid last year, and it was kind of like that till again late December this year, when this token price went from 2,400 Satoshis all the way to a highest point of 7,755 Satoshis, and then it was moving sideways before making an actual all-time highs of about 9,500 Satoshis, and now it's kind of like moving sideways again. When it comes to Bitcoin and dollar comparative, I would probably recommend waiting a bit. I think for the Bitcoin comparative, I think this token can go slightly below like 7,500 Satoshis per token, which will be a good buy opportunity, right? So for my recommendation, again, not financial advice, I think it's better to hold off on this token till you get a price point of below $3 or 7,500 Satoshis or lower, right? So you can also find all the other metrics here. But when it comes to the markets itself and where it's available, you can clearly see that this token is not available in a lot of tier 1 centralized exchanges, but one of the best places to buy this token is KuCoin, where you can buy it with both USDT and Bitcoin. You can also buy it from Bittrex using BTC and USDT, and Hotbit, although I would not recommend going below Bittrex, right? Maybe KuCoin and Bittrex will be the best option. So again, as this project starts taking shape and getting traction, you can see several tier 1 exchanges listing this token, right? Which is something that's a very high possibility by the end of this year. So what's my final verdict on this token? I believe that this token has a lot of potential to grow, especially because of the fact that it's trying to use Bitcoin as a kind of like a base layer to build a second layer DeFi solution based on proof of stake. Proof of stake is a good kind of like addition to the Bitcoin kind of like blockchain, because that's going to bring a lot of attention, because Bitcoin is kind of like thrashed because of its proof of work. Although many of the miners who mine Bitcoin are using renewable energy, DeFi projects like DeFi chain that bring in proof of stake can kind of allow for Bitcoin's image to be kind of like not tarnished, or kind of build Bitcoin's reputation within the proof of stake space as well. And the potential that DeFi chain has can be comparable to the potential that Polygon has, and if all things goes well, or according to the roadmap, and if they manage to gain some decent traction on their chain, I think they will have some really cool yield farming and dApps and decentralized exchanges that will attract a lot of users, right? And by doing all those things, and by trying to stay relevant within the competitive world of smart contract blockchain technology, I think DeFi chain has a long-term potential which merits buying this token whenever there's a dip, right? So again, something that you guys can put in your radar, but obviously please do your own research before you put any of your money on this token, because this video doesn't contain financial advice and I'm not a financial advisor, right? Again, remember guys, you guys are not regular investors, you guys are brutal investors, so stay brutal. Thank you very much for watching my video guys. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos. See you in my next video. Bye.